Welcome, explorers, to the closing ceremony of the 2023 Inclusive Data Hackathon. When we started this journey a few weeks ago, I promised you that this hackathon was not going to be the typical experience, and I hope that you agree we've delivered on that. Since we started, we've had several leaders speak to you, not only about where the industry is headed, but also how you can make an impact within the industry itself. The hackathon was designed with three main purposes. The first was to help you expand your network. The second was to really help you understand how data and analytics impacts the financial services industry. And third, it was to help you transfer your academic skills. And as we move forward, I want you to think about a few things. I know that each one of you has had a very individual experience. Some of you were able to take advantage a lot of the resources and opportunities that were made available, and others were focused on building out that solution that we asked for. But regardless of what your experience was, each and every one of you has reached a certain level of success. And success isn't always defined by delivering that solution. It's about the learning and the experiences that came along the way. So join me as we go through a quick recap of the events that were offered to you, and you'll see that there was definitely a path that we navigated together. One that shared with you where we should go, what we should think about, and how best to get there.
The whole industry is changing to an insights-driven decision making. This whole hackathon is about how we can explore the data, bring the insights out, and make sure business decisions are driven by informed insights. So not only it's important for us to generate insights from the data, it is also important for those insights to be ethical. That's where responsibility for all of us increases.
Yeah, I think it's very important to make sure that you guys are doing the right conductive research, subject matter related to that problem, right? And understanding the domain very well in an organized manner per se, right? And I think one of those key areas, having conversations with the leadership teams, right? Having conversations with the folks who have been in the industry where they understand what those problem statements are. They may not know how to solve it, but that's where you guys will come into the picture, right?
Yeah.
You guys can understand the problem, laid out the solution. You guys have the tool sets, the certifications, the idea of where the technology pieces and the data and analytics can help out, and then solve that problem. But it starts with the problem statement.
Asking the right questions becomes very, very critical. What do you need? When do you need it by? Okay. And what should I not consider as part of the scope, right? Be very sure that you're asking the right questions, right? Ask the questions up front. And don't hesitate. Don't think that any question is, oh, this sounds a little silly. Don't worry about it, right? Every question that you feel that needs to be asked. And when you're asking questions, the objective should be, how is that going to drive A, my solutioning, B, my overall packaging of the response itself? Like in your case, the outcome that you guys are going to deliver, how is that going to get impacted if you don't have that piece of information? That should be kind of your metric around ask the reason for why you ask that question.
As data analysts, as data engineers, as data scientists, we need to know how to work with the data, how to approach the data. So if you look at these high-level categories and they look somewhat familiar, they are derived from software development lifecycle methodology for prototyping. And the reason we do that is because it allows for slightly quicker development, more flexible development. So this is like one of those more agile methodologies you can use as far as approaching data analysis.
And in the consulting world, it is a dynamic career path. And you need to be, a business advisor, a problem solver.
Yeah.
And really what we look for in our candidates are those that, are willing to take initiative, that have, a future forward outlook, that can, be that true consultant, right? See the problem areas, find a solution. So that strong analysis skill set comes into play, the problem solving, and being determined. really trying to build things that create results for your customer. In our case, our clients in financial services.
Actually, I had come on as an analyst, and that changed into like a PM analyst. And so one of the things I like about my position is that it never looks the same. Every single day that I work, it will not be like the day before. So, and kind of figuring out what it means to be an analyst and like this general position is kind of like, you have to be able to be kind of good at a variety of things and do it well. So like I do finances and I do like resourcing and I do like strategy management. And so it's like how you balance all of those skills and kind of learn them and develop them while you're on a project has been kind of one of my highlights because it's something that I was interested in.
We have our daily stand-up, which is kind of my favorite part of the day. We really all come together as like a think tank and kind of figure out what we're doing, what needs to be done, problem solve, troubleshoot, all that. And it feels like the work we're doing is kind of on the cutting edge, at least for our client, of what they do.
I know that this world of AI has really not been new to the industry. The models have been used in credit decisioning, fraud management, and multiple spaces. But we're talking about 500 billion parameters and even like 1 trillion parameters in GPT-4.
Yep.
Where do you think all this is heading towards?
A model that has 100 billion plus parameters, no one knows what's inside that model. It's simply so large that it's very, very hard for anyone to really understand what are the dynamics of what's going on in terms of all of these parameters inside the model, how it yields an output, and how to ultimately correlate that output with what the input is or what the input should be. So I think we are at a pretty interesting inflection point, both due to this fact of the market phenomena and the excitement around the technology, as well as I think the size and complexity of the models themselves really going up a different order of magnitude in the last few years.
Whole idea is when you go and pitch to somebody, treat them as a consumer of the particular product. Now, what are they buying in? What are you selling? What are they buying? Those are critical questions. And they are usually not numbers. It's usually a story. Because you have to make them believe that this is going to solve a problem, or it's going to fill a vacuum or enhance their life, better them in some way. When I meet my boss, the first thing I have to remember is whatever I am doing is going to help him and the unit to do better. If I have that perspective, then it is never transactional. It's very strategic. It's the same approach that you have. It comes with time, it comes with experience, but have that mindset from day one, you have a higher likelihood for success.
So, Bhavan, I think, a lot of its wisdom shared. I was eagerly listening myself. I think a ton of practical insights. If you were to see this group again a year from now, maybe in the next hackathon or in any other form in real world, what is that one thing that you would want to leave behind with this team?
The data is awesome. Continue to pursue it, and really have fun. I think if you're not having fun in this space, you will not enjoy it. And so that applies, I think, broadly in general, I would say, but in this space in particular, it's super important to think of things like storytelling and data visualization, and just really having fun with the data, I think.
Hey folks, good to see you again after 5.5 weeks of hacking, and the second edition of the Inclusive Data Hackathon has come to an end. It was 5 weeks of intense engagement from you, and we are really grateful for it. I think we haven't had an amazing turnout, right? So we took some lessons learned from last year's Inclusive Data Hackathon and applied them this year. So the participation went up tremendously. We had 12 countries represented, 250 people. 41% of that was gender diverse, and at the end of it all, we have like 10 teams which are presenting during the judging, and we are really excited to find out what you have come up with. So hopefully over the last 5.5 weeks, you were able to engage with your coaches and mentors. You were able to hear from, a lot of our executives on, what they face on a day-to-day basis, what kind of challenges do they deal with, and how do they kind of work through them, right? What I really hope is, for those of you who haven't yet entered the workforce, this experience is gonna enrich kind of your profile, and you will feel more prepared to enter the workforce, right? So I really hope for that, and I do hope that some of you do even come work for Capgemini someday. All right. So once again, I really thank you for your enthusiasm and your participation, taking the time and really coming up with thoughtful projects. I hear that majority of them are in Gen AI, which doesn't surprise me at all. So I'm really excited again to see what kind of nuggets we'll find when we go through the results. All right, folks. Very nice to again see you all here over the last 5 weeks, and looking forward to doing this again next year.
Thank you, Arindam. I know everyone's very excited about the next step and the whole purpose of our closing ceremony, which is really to announce our winners. But before we get into that, I do want to just take a moment on behalf of all of our judges and share with you how impressed we were with the thought, technical expertise, and planning that went into each of your respective solutions. We do have a prize package for our winning teams. And with that, we want to continue supporting your future growth. So our winning teams will each receive a comprehensive package of a spotlight lunch, which is a mentoring session. In all honesty, it's an amazing experience where we will be matching you up one-on-one with a leader whose background and expertise aligns with your future goals. And you have full control of this over this conversation. So if you're interested in learning more about industry offers, capabilities, or you're looking for tips and tricks on how to get to that next step in your career or your future goals, this is the perfect opportunity to have an in-depth, personalized conversation. In addition, we're going to be offering packages for Masterclass, Harvard Business Review, as well as Audible. Now, if you're in a country that doesn't offer it, we'll definitely be giving you something very similar to that package. Our very first team did an incredible job. And Team 9, congratulations. Abhinav and Karthik worked on the ESG problem statement, predicting agricultural and farm-based emissions. Team Levi. Levi worked on the Gen AI problem statement for fraud detection and prevention of online payments. Congratulations to Team Insightful Minds. Darsh, Rutik, Malav, and Dhruv, all from Pace University, worked on the Gen AI problem statement number 4 on enhancing financial report search and narrative generation. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank our hackathon admins. This team here put in an incredible amount of effort and time on the back end to make sure that this experience was a success for you. So thank you, hackathon admins. And of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors for this hackathon. Thank you, Capgemini Financial Services, Insights and Data. And to the Insights and Data leadership team for your encouragement, sponsorship, and support. Special thank you to Progressive, CEO of AI Blocks, Darren Oberst, AWS executives Nico and Pratik, Couchbase and Tim Wong, all of the Capgemini volunteers for their coaching, judging, insights, support, and engagement throughout the last 5 weeks. And last, a huge thank you to each of our explorers for the time that you dedicated. I encourage you to stay in touch. We definitely hope to see you again. If you are interested, please do follow digital page. We'll continue having additional events like the Inclusive Data Hackathon. And we hope to support you in your journey through inspiring you, educating, and empowering you to become technology leaders for the future. Take care, everybody.